Lucasfilm and Star Wars did it. They created an entire scene based around a character's pronouns in the most recent episode of The Acolyte. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com last night after watching this abysmal show. And the character in question that they used to address pronouns was the newly introduced Tynan character, Basil. The official Star Wars account on X introduced the character, writing this: take a peek into the Acolyte creature shop and meet Basil, the Tynan tracker, Kalnaka, and more. There is Basil. He's some kind of rodent that looks like he would be more fit to be in C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia rather than in Star Wars. But this is the scene in question, courtesy of my good friend Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic. Let's take a listen to what actually happens here. Just to provide some context, they are in a spaceship traveling to a forest planet to locate a Jedi Wookiee.
What's that? That's Basil. Is he or they with us?
There you go. Questioning the rodent's pronouns. Is he or they with us? Absolutely cringe, but also evil. Obviously, Gary's clip kind of ends there at the 7-second mark. But before we even get an answer from Jackie, Yord interrupts and asks Osha, any questions, civilian? It wasn't just this scene either. They doubled down on it a little bit later in the show. It was broached again after the Jedi head into a forest in order to find the Wookiee Kalnaka. Osha says to Yord, do you understand what the Basil is saying? And then Yord responds, his name is Basil. And yes, so Osha is still kind of playing these stupid pronoun word games. In this case, like putting an article in front of his name, the Basil, for whatever reason. It's just absolutely sick and evil. But this is what we expected from Leslye Headland. This is what we expect now from Lucasfilm. They are putting this stuff in their television shows to corrupt people who watch this show's minds. Because we know they've already been doing this sick, evil garbage in their comics, in their novels, the High Republic novels, and they've been putting it in their encyclopedias as well. They are fully on board with this transgender ideology of the pronoun nonsense, and that's exactly what it is. It is nonsense, but it is also evil, because at the end of the day, it's based on a lie. And Bishop Burbage explains this in his excellent letter, A Catechesis on the Human Person and Gender Ideology. I cite this document quite frequently here on the channel. If you haven't read it, I definitely suggest that you do. It is an excellent read all around. But this is what he wrote. Those asserting a transgender identity and or seeking to transition often adopt new names and pronouns that reflect their desired identity and insist that others must use the chosen names and pronouns. Such use might seem innocuous and even appear to be an innocent way of signaling love and acceptance of a person. In reality, however, it presents a profound crisis. We can never say something contrary to what we know to be true. To use names and pronouns that contradict the person's God-given identity is to speak falsely, aka lie. And that is what Star Wars is encouraging people to do in this show with this rodent character, is to lie. Bishop Burbage continues and says the faithful should avoid using gender-affirming terms or pronouns that convey approval of or reinforce the person's rejection of the truth. I think that is key right there. They are rejecting the truth. It's exactly what is happening. And that is exactly what the Acolyte, Lucasfilm, and Star Wars, and at the end of the day, the Walt Disney Company is encouraging people to do. Reject the truth with this evil ideology. It is not harsh or judgmental to decline to use such language. In the broader culture, Catholics may experience significant pressure to adopt culturally approved terminology. However, in no circumstances should anyone be compelled to use language contrary to the truth. The right to speak the truth inheres in the human person and cannot be taken away by any human institution. Attempts by the state, corporations, or employers to compel such language, particularly by threats of legal action or job loss, are unjust. And we know that's exactly what the Walt Disney Company did with Gina Carano. And she's suing them now. We must love in the truth, and truth must be accurately conveyed by our words. At the same time, clarity must always be at the service of charity as part of a broader desire to move people toward the fullness of the truth. So the show is an absolute disaster. It was amazingly boring. And then they introduced this disgusting, evil pronoun nonsense with this rodent creature. And this is why they fail. This is why they will continue to fail, because they focus on this stuff. This is all they care about. This is all that Star Wars is now. It is a giant piece of propaganda to push evil, disgusting stuff like this. And it's not going to get any better. It just is not going to get any better. But I'm here for it. I am here for it not getting any better. I'm here for seeing the ratings go down, down, and down. I'm here for seeing Star Wars burn at the end of the day, because I would rather see Star Wars burn and people not watch this stuff than people buying into this evil ideology. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable to each other, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.